Well, choosing winners in the AI race can be challenging, but my next guest sees growth potential in various areas of the market, not just in the high-flying big tech companies. Let's bring in Mike Taylor, investment manager at Baillie, Gifford's Global Alpha team. Mike, thanks very much for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
With everything that's unfolding with AI, it's almost like every company is essentially becoming an AI company, isn't it, with the way it's becoming integrated?
That's right. The point here is that this is a general purpose technology. There's almost no industry that it won't impact ultimately. So finance is an obvious example, but healthcare. I even met a company last year that was using the technology in a sawmill to identify areas of the production line that were going to snag before they did so. So this is general purpose. I have heard it described as the invention of the printing press. The implications are so profound.
And where do you see, which industries do you see benefiting the most? You mentioned a few there. Which ones are you looking at and keeping a closer eye on to see what kind of a difference it can make?
What's really exciting at the moment is it's not clear just yet. At Baillie Gifford, what we're trying to do is look out over 5 years. So at the moment, probably the most profound impacts have been in the areas of coding, but I am really excited about the broader implications. What about the healthcare space? How can we develop our understanding of our own genomics to come up with new drugs, new therapies that will make lives better for sick patients across the world?
And I mean, we're starting to see that. It's the speed, I think, is what makes a difference with AI, isn't it? The speed at which these things can unfold.
Absolutely. It's remarkable. I mean, one of the trends we've seen over the last 3 years is that the chips that are powering this revolution, NVIDIA's GPUs, are getting more and more powerful. So whilst they're expensive bits of kit, the end customer is getting more and more performance per unit of cost spent on them. And let's not forget, this industry is still constrained. Customers cannot get enough chips. So they're still figuring out what to do with them. The implications of the long term are not yet clear, but they are going to be remarkable, in my opinion.
All right, let's stay with these big tech companies. Are there any concerns, any companies you see concerns with? You mentioned trying to meet demand is a challenge right now.
Yeah, it certainly is a challenge. I think that that is a result of the fact that NVIDIA is about the only company that can really design the cutting edge chips, and TSMC is the company that just about the only company that can really make them efficiently. So there are a couple of bottlenecks. I think it's also fair to observe, however, that the big hyperscalers are putting a lot of money to work. They're not finding they're not being too restrained in their ability to deploy capital into this space. And I think that will, in the long run, benefit those companies as well as obviously benefiting their supply chain.
And what about Palantir? It's trading at a high valuation, just looking at this, but still demonstrating strong fundamentals. Is it still something for investors, or should they avoid that for now?
Palantir is not a stock that I am particularly close to, but I think whilst shares can go up, one of the most interesting and difficult things to get your head around in investing, I think something that we do well at Baillie Gifford, is that a share can go up, but it can get cheaper. And what I mean by that is if the share price has gone up, but the growth opportunity has expanded, or that company's ability to execute on the opportunity has improved, then actually it can be even better value even as the share price goes up. That's why we're still enthusiastic about companies like NVIDIA. But on Palantir, I'm afraid I don't have a strong view for you.
Okay, fair point. What about AI within emerging markets, and what are you seeing with that there? What kind of an impact is it having there?
What's really interesting about the current situation is that AI is accessible globally. So emerging market companies are able to access this technology. They're able to experiment with it just like companies in the more developed world. In the spring of this year, I was out in South America, and I met almost every company that I met there is using this technology. A couple of ways they're doing that. One example would be using it to do sales processes. So one business I met had reduced their sales staff from over 200 to a tiny fraction of that, and using AI to fill in the gap. Customer satisfaction levels actually increased when that happened. So it's being used across the emerging markets as well as the developed world.
And do the companies in those markets, are they doing it at the same pace as what we're seeing here?
I would say the more forward-thinking ones are. It's very easy to access the technology, right? It's probably fair to say at this point that most data center build-out is occurring in the Western world, so there's probably more capacity there. But if you are a forward-thinking emerging market company, you absolutely can access the technology.
And now you're talking about South America. Any other emerging markets that have caught your eye with that?
I'm a China bull at the moment. At Baillie Gifford, we're always trying to look out 5 years. We're saying what businesses are going to be meaningfully bigger in 5 years' time and what companies are going to dominate those industries. I would say I still expect the electric vehicle industry to be meaningfully bigger in 5 years' time. And at the heart of that are Chinese businesses. So, for example, I'm a big CATL fan. This is a company that makes the batteries that go into electric vehicles. It's got a market share of over a third, and it's a superior business to other players in the space. So their technology is better, their ability to package battery cells is better, and their ability to manufacture them. So what I am trying to do on the Global Alpha Fund at Baillie Gifford is look across the globe and say, what companies are going to be meaningfully bigger in 5 years, and what businesses will dominate those industries.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Mike, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Mike Taylor is an investment manager at Baillie Gifford's Global Alpha team.